Obi Toppin scored 21 points, T.J. McConnell had 20 points and 9 assists, and the Indiana Pacers won a playoff series for the first time in a decade, beating the Milwaukee Bucks 120-98 in Game 6 on Thursday night. The Pacers will face the winner of the Philadelphia-New York series in the Eastern Conference semifinals. New York took a 3-2 lead into Game 6 later Thursday. Indiana's milestone victory came exactly 30 years after it swept Orlando 3-0 to advance in the NBA playoffs for the first time in franchise history, and it came on a night the Bucks again were without Giannis Antetokounmpo. The two-time league MVP never played after straining his left calf April 9. Damian Lillard, meanwhile, returned from a right Achilles injury and played well, but was not nearly as dominant as he was in the first 2 games when he scored 69 points. Lillard finished with 28 points on 7 of 16 shooting. Bobby Portis Jr. added 20 points and 15 rebounds for Milwaukee. Brook Lopez also had 20 points, and Chris Middleton had 14 points and 8 rebounds. Two-time All-Star Tyrese Haliburton had 17 points, 10 assists and 6 rebounds for Indiana, and Pascal Siakam finished with 19 points and 7 rebounds. Toppin and McConnell each had playoff career high scoring totals, and McConnell also had 4 steals. Indiana went 8-3 against the Bucks this season and handed Milwaukee its second straight first-round exit. Easy, not a chance. Indiana turned the game with a 23-3 first-quarter spurt that made it 29-19, and the Pacers never trailed again. But every time the Bucks charged back, the Pacers had an answer. When Milwaukee cut it to 38-34 early in the second quarter, Indiana scored 7 straight points. When the Bucks opened the second half on a 9-4 run to close to 63-56, Indiana responded with a 10-5 run to extend the margin to 12. When Milwaukee got to 85-78 with 6:05 left in the third, McConnell capped an 11-0 run with back-to-back three-pointers to make it 96-78 early in the fourth. And the Bucks never recovered as the Pacers extended the lead to 104-84 with 8:07 to play. From that point, it was a festive atmosphere at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, with Pacers players being serenaded off the court to a standing ovation. With a frenzied Philly crowd clamoring for defense, Josh Hart hesitated for just a second after Jalen Brunson passed him the ball from the left wing before Hart realized the 76ers weren't playing any D on him. Left alone at the top of the arc, Hart let it fly. Hart raised his arms and extended 3 fingers on each hand on his go-ahead three-pointer with 24.4 seconds left. That was finally enough to help send the New York Knicks past the Philadelphia 76ers 118-115 in Game 6 on Thursday night and into the second round of the playoffs. Brunson had 41 points and 12 assists to lead the Knicks, who are set for an Eastern Conference semifinal matchup with Indiana. Game 1 is Monday night in New York. The Knicks are through to the second round in consecutive years for the first time since the postseasons from 1992-2000, and even then, nobody did what Brunson did in this series by scoring 40 points or more in each of the final 3 games. He became the first Knick to do that since Bernard King 40 years ago, and the first NBA player to score 40 or more to close out a series since Michael Jordan for Chicago against Cleveland in 1989. In a series defined by tight games, Hart hit the clutch shot that made it 114-111 and again had chance echoing throughout Philly's home court. Joel Embiid scored a bucket but fouled out on the next possession. Dante DiVincenzo sealed New York's win with 2 free throws. Naturally, the former Villanova Wildcats trio of Hart, DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson saved the Knicks from a first-half collapse that was nearly enough to force a Game 7. DiVincenzo scored 23 points in 48 minutes and Hart had 16. Hart atoned for a missed free throw late in Game 5 that would have put the Knicks up by 4. Nursing a 3-point lead, Tyrese Maxey pulled up from 35 feet to tie it at 97 with 8.1 seconds left, and the Sixers went on to win the game. The 76ers, who trailed by 22 in the first half before taking a 54-51 lead at the break, have another long off summer to think about one more wasted season of Embiid's prime. Embiid finished with 39 points and 13 rebounds. Buddy Hield had 20 points. After dropping 45 points in Game 5, Maxey was a non-factor in the first half and finished with 17. Despite Philadelphia's best efforts to keep rowdy Knicks fans at home, Wells Fargo Center sounded more like Madison Square Garden in the waning moments. Knicks fans crowded near New York's tunnel after the game and held their phones high to capture video of their favorite team headed to the locker room. This was a game where it seemed natural to want to skip ahead to the final minute. After all, there have been 5 playoff games since the 1996-1997 season where a team trailed by 5 or more in the final 30 seconds of regulation and came back to win, and 2 were in this series. Game 2, the Knicks rallied to win 104-101. Game 5, the 76ers came back for a 112-106 overtime win. With Sixers fans having seized back the building, they were roaring at the late tip, shortly after 9 p.m. only for the Knicks to come roaring out to a 33-11 lead. Just last season, the 76ers held a 3-2 series lead against Boston in the East semifinals, only to drop Game 6 at home, and then Game 7 in Boston. The Sixers lost Game 6 in the East semis in 2022 at home to Miami. Only in this Game 6, the Sixers showed some moxie. With Maxey unable to find a shot, Hield about saved the season. Acquired at the trade deadline, Hield lost his starting job after a late-season slump. He missed all 4 3-point attempts in the first 3 games of the series and did not play in the last 2. Hield found his shot in Game 6, hitting 5 threes in the second quarter that sparked the Sixers on a 34-11 run. His 5th 3 helped send the Sixers into the half with a 54-51 lead. Maxey hit a 3 for a 10-point lead in the third before a pair of wild misses from beyond the arc sparked a Knicks rally. OG Anunoby closed the third quarter with a tying 3 for New York and Hiop.